Let's have a quiet time before we start. Let us relax our bodies and our minds. And let us feel open, very open. And think of this circle as a circle of light that's reaching upward in vibration. Realize that each one here is as much a part of the channel as the one who speaks. Open your minds and your hearts and allow God's love to flow through in great abundance, reaching upward to make contact with those on higher levels. Let us put aside everything from the day, bring our attention to this moment and to this place. Be here now. Thank you, Father. This is our Wednesday night channeling number 159, and this title is the second time we've had the same title, but it's a good one. It's called Living the Life. To do good works by sending divine love, being kind to others, loving yourself, and all the many other things that keep you in alignment with the rhythm of eternal life is the nature of your being, your eternal being. As you live the life eternal, you are free from the illusions of the physical plane. The most important words are living the life. This means not once a week, once a day, or once an hour, but continuously. In other words, all the time, as you think of time. Impossible, you think, while on the earth plane? Not so. You are the master of yourself, and you do choose every thought, whether conscious or unconscious. To attain the consciousness of complete mastership in your every thought, word, and deed, start with order, harmony, rhythm, and balance. Order will give you a plan to re-educate your thinking patterns. Harmony with yourself and surrounding gives you the incentive to keep the plan in order, keeping it going. Rhythm gives you the beat of life that keeps the life force flowing in tune with the overall plan of life, so that you fit into the perfect niche made only for you. Balance keeps you in your orbit, doing your part and feeling good about it. Good evening, my dear ones. This is Don, coming to you from these realms of love and light. It is indeed a pleasure to be here with you. It is joy. It is a wondrous thing to see you come together, and we invite the new ones to come again and again and again. Know that within you are all the answers. Within you is the whole universe. We have a special speaker tonight that you have not yet met in this way, although he has attended some of your meetings. And I will now relinquish to this one. Good evening, my dear ones. It is a pleasure to be with you, as your teacher Kadan, your doorkeeper, has said, and I would say to you that I am in the physical as you are in the physical. I come from another planet that in reality is not too far from where you are. I come to speak to you tonight, for some of you have in your thoughts asked for someone like myself to come and speak with you. There are many that orbit your planet and your system. Your system of planets and your sun are a small part of the galaxy that you live in, and we have come to be with you through these great changes that are coming about on your planet. We have come to be with you, to help you, to align yourself with the rhythm of life so that you will not destroy your planet and throw many other planets out of balance. It is not our concern that you will, because we have set up safeguards for this. There are many, many more than you can imagine that have come from all over the universe to be with you at this particular time. For it is a greater experience than you realize. Your planet is being lifted up to a self-illuminating star, as you have been told. In its past, it has been a dark reflecting planet and has not given off light as you see the stars in your sky. But its time has come, and one of your teachers have called it, its time has come to be Christed. Remember that each planet is an entity, a living entity, just as you are a living entity. Each planet is an individual, and some of you may have this experience in your future of being a planet and being mother to many, many other souls who need a home to learn and to grow. If you will stop to think, my dear ones, your planet has given you everything that your physical body needs to survive. And you have not treated her well. But she loves you nevertheless and continues to mother you, continues to give you your needs. There are many billions of planets, suns, all over the universe. In your thinking, there are countless. It is little that I can share with you this evening of the understanding that has been given me. The planet that I come from is, shall we say, farther advanced than yours. We do not think so much in measurements as you do. because we have not been so entangled with time and space and the concept of duality as you are. We have gone through that stage. We have gone through all the stages that your planet has gone through. And I have been chosen to be the speaker because I have studied your language and I have studied your ways on your planet for a time, as you think of time. It is a joy and a privilege for me to be placed in this situation to communicate with you. And if you will be patient with me, I will try to communicate as best I can the things that you wish to know. It is the first time that I have come through this entity, and it is not that difficult because I have studied the vibrations of others who have spoken through this channel. And there are times when it does get a little clogged, and if you will forgive those times and be patient, I will continue with the dialogue. I see that some of you are surprised and that you were expecting something else, but I tell you, the love of God is in the whole universe. It is universal, and this is what you have been studying, God's love, and learning to be an open channel for God's love to flow through. You have been studying to learn how to live the life of love, living the life of divine love. As you do this, my dear ones, you are in tune and in harmony and rhythm with the whole universe, for it is the pervasive power throughout the universe. For God is the universe and everything in it, and God is love. You are created out of the substance of love, of God's love. He brought you forth in his image and likeness. And when I say this, do not think of your physical body, my dear ones, for it is the spiritual entity that is in his image and likeness, the spiritual entity that you are. As you go through your growth on this physical plane, realize that you must be patient with yourself and with the things that you have to contend with or feel that you have to contend with. You see, when you understand that love is the key to all things, love is the answer, then there is no contending, for you need not resist anything. Life is, period, as you have been told. Life contains all. And in your creation, you have been given the power to create as your Father is a creator. And on your dimension, you have created many things that we consider illusion. You have created disharmony, you have created wars, you have created a conflict within yourself. And this is a part of the learning process. Do not be concerned about it or feel guilty about it. Eliminate those thoughts of guilt and self-condemnation. They are harmful and they hold you back. When we evolve to the place on the planet that I come from, has been, in your thinking of time, a very long time from where I was, where you are. And it took patience, and it took practice. And I urge you, with every ounce of love that I have within my being, to be patient with yourself, but to also take action, to practice taking that step right in front of you, that step that moves you forward on your path, on the path of soul's growth, on the spiritual path of divine love and light. I urge you with every ounce of love that I can muster to realize that the universe is so vast and so beautiful and so wonderful, and that you are experiencing such a small, small part of it. If you could get a glimpse, if I could somehow show you just a small glimpse of the beauty and the joy and the feelings of ecstasy that you have when you overcome this planet that you're on, I know that you would put it number one priority and let nothing stand in your way to moving forward in your growth, to reaching higher in consciousness, and letting divine love be your motto. For in love all is contained. There is nothing that is left out in divine love. As you learn to love yourself, for within you is the Creator of all that is, or you would not exist. Within you is His love that you can learn to let come forth. I am sure that some of you have been given an example of an onion, and there are many, many layers to an onion, and you are peeling off these layers, and as you get closer and closer to the center, this is the divine love, that divine being that you truly are, that dwells within you. You and God are one. You must realize this, not just in words and intellectually, but in knowing. As you begin to realize this, to make it real in your consciousness, and to know it, then you begin to feel the bliss consciousness. You begin to feel the wonder and the joy of life that very, very few feel on your dimension here. But you have the capability of doing this. You have the capability of peeling off these layers of negativity, these layers of illusion, these layers that are not true, and eliminating them from your being, and let the light shine bright, and let God's love flow from you in great, great abundance. I tell you, there is nothing that compares with this. There is nothing in all of life that compares with knowing who you truly are. Yes, you have been told, and you have thought about it maybe, but to realize it, to make it real in your consciousness, is what you're reaching for. And as you do, your inner self opens up, and many, many other senses come into play. Your 5 senses are still there, yes, so that you can operate on the physical plane, but there are many, many other senses that can be open, but not until you have what your teacher has been calling your foundation. As you build your foundation of understanding the eternal laws of life, and build them strong and solid within your being, then you have something to stand upon. You have something that will hold you up. And then can you open these other senses and experience the beautiful realities of life instead of that which seems to be true but is truly illusion. I know that you would like to know more about the places that I have come from, but it is difficult for me to bring them into your language. It is difficult for me to explain to you that which you have not experienced in your recent memory. I tell you, all of you have had all the experiences, but have chosen to allow yourself to come down to these lower dimensions and go through these experiences once again, but on a higher cycle. Each one of you have lived on other planets, much higher in vibration than this planet. Each one of you have been on higher dimensions with great knowing, and you have come out on another cycle to learn and to grow and to polish your spiritual understanding. My dear ones, when you realize there is no death, when you realize that life is eternal, there is no time, when you realize that you have all eternity, then you need not be in such a big hurry as most of you on this plane are running around in circles when seen from the higher levels, going this place and that place. Some of you are learning the truth and learning a little, but most on your dimension are just going nowhere fast. This is not condemning you, because it is necessary for you to go through these experiences. But the reason that I am bringing this to your attention is that you do not emulate those who seem to be famous, who seem to be the role models that so many want to be like, rich and famous, and the abilities that when you leave this plane have no meaning at all. In the sense of eternity, the things that are so important, that seem so important to most on this plane, have no importance in the reality of life. I have projected astrally, as you would think, from the spacecraft that has come not very close as you would think in space, but I would say to you, to satisfy your curiosity, that the spacecraft that I've traveled from to your part of this universe is at least half the size of your planet. You see, my dear ones, all things are possible, and as you flex your spiritual muscles, as you open up to the idea and to the understanding that you can, through God, accomplish anything that your mind can imagine, but you must have that foundation to stand upon, or it will crumble before you. In your present time on this cycle, you have lived many, many lifetimes on this planet, many more than you know, and have built up many civilizations that are much, much higher than what you think of as Atlantis and other civilizations, and have used the power that you have learned incorrectly against the grain of life, shall we say, and have destroyed your civilization as you think of it, and all the records with it, because your foundation was not built of the ingredients that would hold you up, that would give you the understanding of the laws of life, the true understanding. And when you try to rush things, and when you try to cut corners, for example, some of your contractors have been caught in not putting enough cement and steel into their buildings, and the buildings have given way, and they are in trouble because of this. And it is the same with your foundation within you, my dear ones. You cannot cut corners. You cannot speed up through some kind of magic wand. You must have it solid and real. You must have the knowing. And as you do, then you know who you are, and you know the next step in front of you, and you take this step and build it into your consciousness and build it into your foundation and make it real in your realization of life. You have been asked in the meetings that I have attended to take some time to go aside and go within and get acquainted with your Creator. I urge you to also do this, because these basic things that you are learning are so necessary to reach the heights that you desire. And I tell you again and again that unless you get it right, unless you understand and have the foundation with solid ingredients, when you try to reach the heights, you fall back again and have to start all over. The populace of your planet and those in between incarnations, which are 4 to 5 times as many that are presently incarnated, have done this over quite a few times. And it is not bad. It is a part of the learning process. I have come to you this evening to maybe impress you with the importance of building that foundation correctly, because I've gone through the same experiences, and I have failed many times, and the individuals that were on the planet that I dwell upon have gone through this same thing. As you as an individual can rise above this planet and this plane of illusion, I should say, no matter who else does or does not. Do not think that you have to, everyone has to do it before you can do it. You can be a leader. You can go before, as many others have. And I tell you that there are many, many others who have gone through the experience of being Christed, and they are helping from other dimensions in many ways that you know not of. We, in the armada in your skies, are helping in other ways, because we are still in the physical, and we can reach your physical world where your spiritual teachers can teach you the spiritual laws, and they could manifest in the physical if they so desire, but we are already in the physical. And by lowering our vibrations, as I have this evening, to make contact with you, we can help you in many ways. We feel saddened by the pain and the anguish that you go through as individuals, as countries, as a planet, a world as a whole. We feel compassion for you, but we know that it is necessary for you to do this until you awaken. That seed of enlightenment is within each of you, no matter who you are or what role you have played. It matters not. That seed of enlightenment is there and will one day take root and come forth. Some of you in this room will find it in this incarnation. You will find it and know it and be the Christ that you already are. You will be able to manifest the Christ that you already are. You may not tell anyone about it. You may be silent. For those who truly reach this state of consciousness, do not go around bragging about it. And the only reason that the one you call Jesus let his life be open was to give you an example and to give you a pattern to follow by. Most of his teachings that you call the New Testament are accurate. There are some that have been distorted, but most of them you can follow and use to go by. I know that you may have many questions to ask, and so let us take a time now for the time of asking questions. In your thoughts, some of you think it would be grand if I were to manifest a physical body in front of you, but could you stand it? Would you be too amazed? Would it shake you too much? Some of you it would, some of you it would not. We are in the physical, as you are in the physical, but our vibrations are higher than your physical eyes could see. And we would have to lower our vibrations down to your level to be able, for you to be able to see us. This would not be painful to us as you think of pain, but it would be very much less than we truly are. You see, to make the contact with you this evening, I am still on the spacecraft that I talked about, but I have set up a system, a line of communication, and projected a beam of light is the best that I can say to you with Donald's language and his ability to express English, to use his voice box and a little bit of his body. And it is difficult for me to really express that which I long to express to you. Would that I could send a beam of light into your mind and show you some of the beautiful things on the planet that I come from, some of the beautiful things on the ship that we travel in. But you are not ready for this, and it would be against the rules for me to do this. Now, let me say this, that if you decide to raise your consciousness to the heights, then we could help you to see. And I will say this, when you go to your bed this evening, if you decide, if you wish, ask to see my countenance and the place that I come from and the ship that I dwell in, and maybe you will catch a glimpse or two of it. It is up to you and to your teachers and your guides from the spiritual realms around your planet. Are there any questions that you would ask this evening?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Before you spoke of how we have been in many civilizations and we had destroyed them and they were higher, more advanced than us right now. And then, is this the purpose of this new age, to maybe like so we can get it right this time and get our foundation and not destroy it?
This is your last opportunity on this planet, because it is time for the entity who is this planet to be Christed and to be lifted up. And it will happen in the next 2,000 years or thereabout. You may incarnate several times, reincarnate I should say, or you may stay in the body if you learn how to keep yourself in perfect balance. while this is going on. This is the greatest opportunity for you to be in the physical in the history of this planet, since this planet was formed. And so you have, this is one of the main reasons that I've come to you tonight, to explain this to you, that you have the opportunity to go through this experience with this planet if you can keep pace with the rise in vibratory rate. Every day your vibrations are increasing on the planet's vibrations, and everything on it. Now, I see some of your questions. You see, what you think of as the dark side, or the negative, is also increasing. And this is why that you hear so many things on your news that are distressing to you. But it will soon, and when I say soon, time is so elusive that it is difficult to pin a time that those who are of the negative will not be able to incarnate on your planet. And the new ones coming in that are of the light, that have the consciousness, will take leadership in a few generations, a few centuries, whatever the time period is. And this will make a big difference. And your leader in your country has brought out the words, the world order. And it is time for these kind of words and this kind of thinking to come about, for you all to learn to work together as one, because in true reality you are one with everyone on your planet, but also one with everyone in all of life. Let us see. I feel that you are not satisfied with the answer. Did we get the answer correctly for you?
Oh, yes, I did.
Yes. Are there other questions this evening?
Yes, I have many questions.
Yes.
So the question: how do you look physically? How are you different from us?
In appearance, the vibrations are much higher. The form is not nearly as bulky, as should I say, as yours, because we have learned, we do eat if we desire, but we have learned to draw our sustenance from the source. And so we need not eat and use the digestive system, even though it is there, because life force is what sustains you and us also. You see the life force in your animals, in your fruit, in your vegetables, sustains the life force within you. And as we have progressed, we have learned that we need not go through a process of eating so much and digesting it and so forth to keep us in the physical form. We have learned more to draw from the source. On other planets, there are different levels of this. There are those who have learned to draw from the source a little, and some draw from the source a lot, and need not have such a bulk in their appearance. And let's see if I can explain more. If looking through your eyes, we would be, if you could see us as we are on our planet, which you could not with your physical eyes, you would have to use the inner eye. But if you could see us, we would seem as more as light than as a solid form to you. Does this help your understanding?
Yes, but how do you reproduce yourself? If you are only the light.
Would you speak?
Do you have family? Do you have kids? Do you have... How is it? How to work this?
Yes, you want to know the whole bit, huh? Yes. As we progressed, we have gone through many stages, and we have learned from where I am to not have to give birth as you do and go through the childhood experience. As we have come from the spiritual realms into the physical on the planet, we have learned to just make a form and inhabit it. You see, all things are possible to those who can believe, and we make a form according to the level of our consciousness. And so wherever we are in consciousness, we are able to manifest a form through thought, just as you manifest everything that you manifest through thought, though you go through several steps that we do not go through to bring a chair into being, for example. We bring it into being immediately instead of gathering the material and making a chair. And it is the same with our forms. There is the polarity that we use as you do, and it is different than you think of. I am doing the best that I can with your language to explain to you, but does this help in your understanding?
Yeah, it helps me to understand, but it's difficult to adapt your mind to set to understand.
Yes, I know.
I can imagine it.
Yes. And you see, your imagination is the power to bring things into being. And when you say, I can't imagine, you have turned off the ability to be able to move into the realm where you can bring it into being immediately. Your master teacher taught you that it is possible when he fed the multitude from the lads one fish and one loaf, and he kept multiplying it and bringing it into being through his inner image and drawing from the source, which is within him and which is within you. All of these things are possible, but when the race thought on your planet is that you have to do it this way and this way only, and then this is what you believe. And it is according to your belief that you are able to do these things. When you are able to set aside the disbelief, then you can move higher in consciousness to bring about whatever you decide. Many, many things are being invented as you think of them on your plane at this time. Your scientists have gone very rapidly in the last 100 years of your time and brought many things into being that you did not have before. So if you think about this, this may help you to stretch your belief and to use the power of your inner image called the imagination.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. It is our privilege, and we love you very, very much, for you are our brothers and our sisters. You are one with us, and we are one with you, and we long to help you, but God has given every one of us free will, and we cannot invade that free will. But we can come and speak with you, and speak with you to a certain degree that you maybe could comprehend. There are so many things that I could tell you that are not, there are no words in your language, and you do not realize it maybe, but you think in language. Are there other questions this evening?
Yes, I have questions. You mentioned maintaining perfect balance, and you also maintain drawing on the life force for your sustenance. These are things that we need very much to learn. I'd like to ask if you can kind of tell us how we would begin to learn these things for ourselves. And I'd like to ask how we can effectively help you in your efforts to keep us from destroying ourselves.
Yes. You are a small group, but there are many small groups around your planet, and you do not know it, but there are other planets in your system that are inhabited, and they are helping you also. You have much, much more help than you realize. You have to grow into understanding. You have to grow as you learn to add and subtract before you can divide and multiply. And I know that you have been told this many times, but it is the best example. When you ask for help in not destroying the planet, your best way to help us is to send God's love, unlabeled, often through the day, and allow those who have chosen to this work, to take this love substance and use it where it is needed most. There are many things that you are discovering now, and some of them have been harmful to you, such as the atomic energies. But this one step will lead to another step, and the greatest need in a physical sense that you have now is the clean energy. And this is around the corner. I cannot say how long, because I do not know. It depends on the mass consciousness. It depends on your ability to give up greed. You see, there are many things that have been put off that could have been used long ago, such as greater mileage on your automobiles. And these things have been invented by individuals, but your oil companies have bought them up and kept them from the market because of greed. This is just one example, and we do not condemn them for this. This is a part of your growth. It is a part of your learning to understand. There should not be anyone hungry on your planet or without shelter. But as you hear on your television, there are many, and right here in your city, there are many. When you learn to merge together more in consciousness and learn to love yourself first, and then you can learn to love each other, then can you provide all these things in your courts, in your legislations. You legislate this and you legislate that. But you see, my dear ones, to be able to help your brothers and your sisters, it is an individual thing. Each individual has to be willing to do their part. You cannot legislate things into being. You can pass laws, but your physical laws are constantly broken. They're constantly changing. Love is the law that will bring about the harmony and the balance that will eliminate the greed. When you send God's love unlabeled, it goes to the places that is needed most in the universe. But it first goes to your planet, and it goes through you, and it helps you as it goes through you, as you have been told. Think on this and realize that when you learn to love unconditionally, this is learning to draw on the universal substance of life to sustain you in all ways. Now, this may seem an abstract answer to your question, but it goes to the heart of the answer. Did I cover all your questions, my dear?
Yes, I believe so. You've given me a great deal to think about.
Yes.
I would like to ask one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a name? Sometimes it helps. We would like to send you our love periodically and God's love, as well as our gratitude for coming to speak to us and to teach us.
Yes, it is. I know that it seems important to you to identify and to have a name to identify with. and my name could not be brought down into your language, but I will try to give you something that is a little close to what I am called. Montreal. And I will let you do the spelling of it.
I had it, thank you.
Yes. And any time that you wish to call upon me, I will be near you, because we are one. And in our planet, we know that we are one. And let me see, how many million do you have on your planet now? 5, 4? What is the latest census that you have? I think that in billions, yes, I'm sorry, 5 billions. I was going to say that I feel that our planet maintains in the physical perhaps 4 to 5 times as many as you do. And we are all known to each other. Now this may sound like too much to you, but you see, we are in touch with our inner source, and we know that we are all one. And so there is no problem in knowing the ones that are in the physical and the ones that are in between incarnations, as you might think of it. We maintain a physical body for whatever period that we decide. It can be 2,000 or 3,000 years, or it can be 200 or 300 years, depending on what we want to accomplish. You see, my dear ones, we are still learning as you are learning. It is just from a different level. And we are no different than you are, except that we have gone a little ahead of you in our consciousness. And in saying this, it is not really true, but it appears that we have gone ahead of you, because we are all one and we are all at the same level. But to your physical understanding, you are so involved with the concept of duality and time and space that you need something to measure by. And so I am attempting to do this, but I also am obligated to tell you that it is not real in the sense of reality.
May I ask you,
Yes.
is it possible that we can pray that God will teach us how to obtain our substance and our nutrition direct from the source? If that's possible, why can't we do that?
You can do it. And when you come to the place in consciousness, I would say to you that prayer is an asking for enlightenment. Would you say that this is a correct definition for prayer?
Yes.
Yes.
It's enlightenment we need to do it.
Yes. Now, as I have talked to you before, you have to have the foundation for this. And without the foundation for this understanding of drawing directly from the source, it would not be possible. And the foundation can be compared to learning to add and subtract before you divide and multiply, or before you get into higher mathematics, as you call them, whatever. You have to take it one step at a time, my dear.
But you can use your imagination to get the step closer, can't you?
Yes, you can. And you can take that step right in front of you, but you have to take the step in front of you.
I know that.
Yes. If you want to walk a mile, you have to take this first step, and then the next step. And it is the same with learning to draw your sustenance directly from the source.
We've been growing step by step for years.
Yes, and sometimes slipping back, but you are overall farther along now than you ever have been. And it may not appear to you to be so, the way the world looks, but I say to you, it is so. You see, you cannot judge by appearances, as your teacher has told you, but you have to judge righteous judgment. And the way that your stage is set up for this play that you're going through has to have the good guys and the bad guys to bring about the opportunities that you need for your soul's growth.
They're just playing bad guys.
That's correct. This is correct. They're playing that role, and maybe you have played the role before yourself.
We sure must have, or otherwise we wouldn't be all the same.
Yes, you are correct. And it is difficult for some of you to accept this and to think of yourself as being one of the bad guys. But it is just an experience. In true reality, there is no duality. There is no good or evil. There is just life. There is God.
Thank you for a wonderful teaching.
Yes. Are there other questions this evening?
You were speaking about how in our near future, a lot of the dark ones, and did you call them, will not be allowed to reincarnate on this planet. And then you had also mentioned that many of us had lived on other planets while we're here now.
All of you have.
Were we kind of like the dark ones, the flunkies that had to come back here and relearn because we didn't learn it?
This is a concept that has floated around, but I would not agree with this. It is just your choice. You see, it is difficult for you to accept that this planet holds great opportunities for soul's growth because of the diversity on your planet. There are many, many different things happening all at the same time, and many different ways of learning and growing. And there are many from planets as high as the one that I came from who are waiting to experience your planet for the growth, to build the spiritual muscles. And when they do, they will shut off their memory of their understanding that they have now, and they will go through this experience. And to you, this seems needless, and why should anyone go through the pain and suffering and anguish that you think of on this plane? My dear ones, if you could change your concepts and your attitude about pain, suffering, and anguish, you would realize that it is just a concept.
You can cut off pain by telling yourself so.
Yes, but also you can be grateful. And through a true attitude of gratitude, you rise above what seems to be suffering and pain. It seems from where you are a long trail ahead of you, but it truly is not, because you are already there. You do not have to wait to become, you already are. And when you awaken, then you realize this. You have this realization that you have always been one with all life, one with God. You have always had this realization, this understanding of the completeness of life. But you have chosen to go through these experiences to reach even greater heights. And this may seem paradoxical to you, but it is one of the fastest ways of growth. Are there other questions this evening? It has been a great privilege for me, and some of my brothers and sisters have said if you wish, they will come at some time when it is in order according to those who are conducting your group, who are in charge of making the plans for who is to speak and what lessons are to be learned, that they will come if you wish and speak with you.
We'll welcome them.
Yes. I will leave you now in this way, but remember that I am only a thought away, and that we have chosen to give up the comforts, you might say, of our planet, to come and be with you in this very short time of a few thousand years of your changes, your great changes that your planet is going through, and to have the experience ourselves of experiencing this, for it is a tremendous experience. And I plead with you to continue to raise your vibratory rate each day, to learn and to grow and to build into your consciousness the understanding of life, and ask the God within you and your teachers and your guides to help you. Continue to ask, because when you ask, you open the door for them to come in and give you so much more. God bless you, each one, and good evening.
What's it?
This afternoon I had no impressions at all. I felt nothing. I usually know sometimes 2 days ahead of what is, coming about, or maybe at least in the morning when I wake up, but I had nothing until 30 minutes before, maybe an hour before.
Tonight?
Yes.
Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
He came right through easy, didn't he?
It seemed to. I felt a little frustration on his part of not being able to speak more freely and give you more of more than you could probably understand or take.
He gave an awful lot.
Did it?
Yeah, he did. Gave an awful lot to think about, and
Yeah.
That's really the sum and substance of it all. Because the things we have to think on, I don't know, but they seem to make a greater impact.
Yeah.
He gave fresh material that we haven't had before, no?
He did.
Oh, is that right? Well, it was different anyway, wasn't it?
Didn't you?
They're all good. They always are. They all are good.
You were saying that there's people in charge of this group and like saying what lessons will be taught and who will come and speak or whatever. Do you have any like?
Well, there was a
People know or anything?
there was a lesson that they talked about this. The council, didn't they? And they, I guess they can see a little ahead of time and know who's going to be here and know who's going to hear the tapes and give accordingly to what is needed.
I read in the book that each one of us have 12 guardians.
At least, yeah.
Yes. It's kind of nice to know that.
Yes, it is. But, we don't cooperate enough to let them help us.
You don't cooperate.
We don't ask enough, see, I think.
They're on vacations.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a lot, but I keep them real busy.
It fits.
Oh, and I also read that everybody they'll have part of themselves incarnate over here and another part of themselves incarnate over in another place.
Well, let's not get into that right now. That's a little too much.
But it is a fascinating concept.
Yes, but you see, we're all one. And so,
Running for each other.
yes.
I wanted to ask so many questions, but I was afraid you want to ask because nobody asked me anything so to take so much time for myself or no.
Well, if you don't answer, if you don't ask, how will we get the answers for you?
Like, for example, I think that the people who are in Tucson doing this experiment, with an environment, biosphere thing, down in Tucson.
Tucson?
Those scientists that are made like a whole building with all the environment and everything, the self-contained environment.
Oh, yes, uh-huh.
I think these people are
Uh-huh.
on the other side.
That's a beginning.
And
Uh-huh.
they can hear because they are relatively too young to know so much about what they know,
Well,
And
yeah.
they live together with no problems, It must be something different that we are human beings.
They just think in a much larger way than we do. We're just starting to think about maybe experimenting with it, and they've probably already done it. And let's see, some time ago, many years ago, they said they have control of their weather and their environment and everything on some of those higher planets. And shall we hold hands?
As we come together in the physical by holding hands, let us bring down the spiritual understanding that we've been given, and let us bring it down to the physical plane in vibratory radiance. And think of this understanding going out to cover this city and to cover this planet. And those who are open and can receive will get the understanding, or at least part of it, that we have gotten tonight. For we are all one. And just as we are one now by holding hands, we are never separated in reality. Just think of God's love going around this circle and gaining momentum and power and filling this room and spreading out over this city and covering this planet and going out to the whole universe. Think of ourselves as an open, clear, being channel and realize that the only thing that we need to be a channel is to be willing. Thank you, Father. So those who are new, we have an article on sending that. We'll study on that these are a few. Well, not.
You answer and I asked you for as the thing spoke to someone. I mean, try to have us one.
You got to train her to ask questions.
Well, oh, yeah, this how it is. The light, Johnny. Brooklyn, I'm here.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
How are you doing? What about you?
Oh, good.
And good.
Hi. What?
Oh. If you're with Nora.
Well done.
Well, no, good.
Okay. What's wrong with me?
Did that, you
All right. Happy you look like it's shorter.
I take these good things to see you for.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I sure appreciate you.
You have a band job.
Oh, yeah, and guess what? I did it, then so I would have down and check the period out of LA for. You know, this is the label I never known. And I called it.
That's your eyes today.
Yeah.
You're not going to remember that?
Yes, yes, you can. The inventor was a musician box. Without picking.
On the round of one, that for the fancy this today, do I feel bad?
You're clear out this week.
Down it. Excuse me. And they got it. We're going you long ways up there.
Yeah. Just looking, it looks like the recorder is still on it. I guess it doesn't hurt though, does it? Because the tape is blank. Yeah. So maybe there's the one get back to where maybe there's something that needs to be on there.
Can you just give it back?
Like in
Beaver.
plastic.
Why can you sell it?
So I have no idea. That's the freaking when you get this. And my first one was
I don't think like yeah, I didn't hear this one. He can.
so you know drive back.
You also make down the stove. Time to imagine something.
Yes, they knew all the involved in
But
it.
help to put. No, I didn't. It was spiritual. Oh, it's a the other two that holiday. Yeah, I mean, you want every week or don't you? Might have that was. They know the tuning. PQ. All in a club, one to check you. You know, I did it. From now on, I'm going to be a real kind when I thought, stop, and it's being the key. You know, the day when they're very shy. That's for me. Because everything is like feel down right. Is that right? That funny word. It was really like it did up, sit down, gets the uniform together. Then you just. I'm going to be school. I start look on that with the scale. Somebody. Not stuck them. I had no time. Somebody awares that give me a right place. And it's a spaghetti. He's in the he talks so fast though. I mean, this is clever, but
Very simple, no. Yeah, that's the whole year we would. And that.
I used to have this one is up. You know, where's with these on video or that's
You got to watch up here from the right.
And then they say, are they going to die?
Yeah, you can't see the bits.
But I was at with tree introductory class
And I can near that, isn't it?
is it some tree? Okay,
I got my waist on it.
even if you don't attend that, yeah, you does actually.
Right. Off he goes.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
And you could just feel like that, and there's a flash. And I'm in here over here. And my hand was over here, and I got just a feeling from the toilet.
Let him order ass up in it. Is he still here in town?
Well, there went buddies and there's some of them like I'm worth here. Just the and it seemed to see some such it turned off and that's for Indian. And Richard was saying yes. He thinks that that's a good phone track. But you learn at the design of the floor and it what is it? Like in a good I never fast company. It's so deep head every now and it puts the big and I said, yeah, share. And even for an extra people understand.
Yeah, was not.
And the quickest income of time before him to be in my tape. Also, we talk 9 minutes. That's pretty long like a wolf. But I think like when you says I was living like big shot creams and helped with it. And please, it is by the way, like a series of island left from shop to the car seller. I mean, he just listened, said, okay, he was stopping ordinarily, he didn't do things, but he, you know, I think he was too, oh, you know, my friends, added